So let's look at some of the specific opportunities. And we're showing these first in a commercial sense. So you have your organization and you have your competition and you want to increase your market share. It could also be in a large organization, your project team versus other project teams, and you want your project team to be the project team that the organization looks to as being a team that has its act together. So how are you going to increase that market share? Well, one way is going to be in balancing work from home with on-site collaboration. The teams that can do that better are going to be the teams that are viewed as being more successful in the organization, and the teams are going to win market share from their competitors because employees are going to want to work for organizations that know how to get this balance right. You're going to be saving money because of the reduced square footage, but you have to also think about knowledge transfer, decision-making, innovation, motivation, what kind of tools you're going to select for collaboration. Now, you can now access a global workforce. That's an advantage, and which teams can make better use of that, again, are going to increase their market share. How you can bring remote participants into hybrid meetings, the better you can do that, the better word we'll get that you are the kind of team or the kind of company that knows how to make this balance happen. Work from home with on-site collaboration. Another thing that will affect your market share is how you address travel costs. As travel goes down, customer interaction goes down, and competitive knowledge is gleaned from face-to-face meetings with customers. They may have a preference for staying more safe and not requiring face-to-face. So what are you going to do about it? Aggressive use of data science is one way to make sure you understand your customer profile and when you're been reduced in that ability because of face-to-face and travel. More use of simulation. And also when it comes to travel, recall that employees, I think, generally like travel. There's a lot of bonding that happens on travel. Your team gets more motivated when they travel together and work on issues together out of the office. What are you going to replace in your team as travel decreases to offset that lack of motivation? Another thing you need to address is onboarding new employees in this hybrid work from home environment. And the companies and teams that can do that better are going to be more successful and increase their market share. So the hiring process in a socially distant world, how you do that, the 10-20-70 rule, basically 70% of employee knowledge comes from mentors and the assignments they have. In this work from home world, how are you going to ensure that that is happening? Training, retention, YOLO, you only live once employees, like that employee that graduated in 2020 I mentioned, they may have a little different idea about the corporate ladder and be more willing to move to another company because they have this you only live once idea. They know that the future is unpredictable. If you can't onboard them in a proper way, well, guess what? They're going to be going to the companies that can. Importance of mentoring, and there's been, I think, some loss of trust in the corporate career ladder that you need to replace in your local level as a project leader. And of course, we want to keep our employees healthy and safe. How are you going to do that in the post-COVID world? Are people going to be asked to wear masks? Is everyone going to have to be vaccinated? Are we going to do contact tracing? The 6-foot rule is a little bit more complex. There's another link there to a model from MIT that allows you to determine what the probability of transmission is back at your office once we start co-locating once again. Understanding a shifting marketplace. The companies that can do that better are going to win market share, new products and new services in adjacent markets. So Uber used to drive people around, now it drives food around and delivers food to people. An adjacent market, they were smart enough to get on top of that. What are the products that you're going to be smart enough to get on top of as we return to this or enter this post-COVID world. Maybe there may be more reason for design simulation, willingness to take on risk, and a new product shifting marketplace, imagination versus knowledge. Imagination can be as important or more important than knowledge. There's a lot of money being spent in this post-COVID world, $2 trillion. And much of it is spent in the wheelhouse of project management, aid to states and local governments. That's where often project managers exercise their career, education and childcare, building new schools, small businesses, testing and vaccines. That should be, project managers should be all over that. And rural hospital assistance. A lot of money being aimed at hospitals, and the maintenance departments of hospitals are run by project managers, and there's more funding there. Smart project managers will be aware of how to acquire that funding and apply it in an efficient, cost-effective manner. Now, we've been talking about commercial organizations and market share. Many project managers work in the nonprofit world and the government world. So rather than market share, you're worried about your legacy, your organization, and the people you serve. So on the right-hand side, you still have to do all that good stuff of balancing work from home with on-site collaboration. But in your organization, if you're on a school board somewhere, you need to worry about returning students to the classroom. If you're working in the VA, you need to worry about delivering hands-on healthcare. If you're working for the FDA, addressing public health. So it's not only dollars and cents, it's your legacy in a nonprofit organization.